The village square of Eldermere lay shrouded in fog, every cobblestone gleaming with a slick sheen of early morning dew. The old clock tower chimed 6, its echo reverberating against the weathered stone of the abandoned cathedral that towered nearby. Inside, the air was dense and still, heavy with the scent of damp earth and age. It was here, amongst shattered stained glass and crumbling pews, that the villagers whispered of a curse bound within the sanctuary's walls. As the sun timidly peeked over the horizon, Helena ventured from her cottage, drawn by the peculiar aroma of incense that drifted through the misty graveyard. It was a scent she recognized, one that had filled her childhood home before her family inexplicably vanished years ago. The village had always warned her against returning to the church, saying the past clung to it like a second skin. Yet as the tendrils of smoke curled in the air, she felt an undeniable pull. With each step toward the cathedral, the air grew colder, as if the fog was thickening, wrapping around her like icy tendrils. Faint whispers brushed past her ears, unintelligible but urgent, beckoning her forth. She clutched her shawl tighter, the sound of her heartbeat loud in her ears. When Helena reached the hulking entrance, the door creaked open by itself, revealing a dusty interior cloaked in shadow. The whispers lured her deeper into the nave, where the incense thickened into a heavy blanket that clawed at her throat. As she approached the altar, she noticed something amiss. The altar's once cracked surface was adorned with fresh flowers, vibrant and alien amidst the decay, a stark contrast that made no sense in a place forsaken for decades. The petals glistened with dew, yet they emitted a sickly sweetness that made her stomach churn. Then she heard it, a distinct scraping sound echoing from behind her. She turned sharply to find the cathedral's large oak doors open wide, revealing the darkened graveyard bathed in early dawn light. Only now, the rows of gravestones seemed to lean closer, their inscriptions blurred as if the stones bled ink. The dawn's glow danced over an unfathomable figure, a shadow dark and too solid for the fog, stood just beyond the threshold, waiting. As she stepped back, the figure shifted, human-like yet distorted, with long fingers stretching toward her. It whispered her name, a twisted cacophony that echoed with the voices of her loved ones. Panic surged. The memories clawed at her heart, urging her to flee. But the ground beneath her began to tremble, as though the very earth wanted her to stay, to join the shadows that danced along the grave markers. In that moment, the fog parted, revealing a single gravestone she never thought she would see again, her family's marker, worn but familiar. The truth crashed over her like a tidal wave. They hadn't forgotten her. They were calling her home. With newfound resolve cutting through her terror, she turned back to the altar, raising her voice in a reluctant chant, offered more to the shadows than to the light. The figure began to dissolve, merging with the shadows of the cathedral, drawn away by the brightness of her words. The air thickened, and the foul sweetness lifted like smoke, revealing the sunlight streaming through the stained glass once more. As she completed the chant, a deafening silence fell. In an instant, clarity washed over her. They had been trapped in a cycle of sorrow and despair for too long. In the quiet aftermath, as her breath slowed and warmed her chest, Helena stepped back outside, the morning sun spreading gold across Eldermere. She felt lighter, as if the weight of untold grief had finally been lifted. The whispers evaporated into the dawn, and the curse, once embedded in the solemn stones, seemed to disperse like mist, freed by her revelation. Helena turned her gaze to the distant hills, the village square now alive with possibility, leaving the shadows behind. As she walked away from the cathedral for the last time, she understood that even the most haunting ties could be severed, releasing one back into the embrace of a new dawn.